Okay, with the Port Vale managerial situation up in the air at the moment after Michael Brown was sacked last week, former player Ryan Burge has thrown his hat in the ring, and we got him on the line right now to talk about it. Hello, Ryan.
How you doing?
Yeah, so I'm good. So, first of all, last Saturday you heard that Michael Brown was no longer Port Vale manager. So what spurred you on to say that you wanted to apply?
Well, obviously I was at the club a while ago. I had some success with the club. I see the position they're in now, and I just feel that I can help the situation.
And, of course, you've got no managerial experience, but you've said when you first signed for the club, you said you were going to get promotion, and you did, and you could do that as a manager.
Yeah, I think if you look back to the media, when I first signed for the club, I think the Sentinel done an article with me. And whereas most players will come out, they'll say, yeah, you know, I just want to get in the team, I want to do well at the club. I straight away come out and said, I've come to this football club to get promotion. I was at a championship club at the time, at Doncaster. Yeah, I hadn't played very much, but they offered me a new deal. But I turned that down and come to the Vale.
Yeah, and like I say, you've got no managerial experience, but you've got a UEFA coaching licence, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done my B licence a couple of years ago. I thought, you know, it's important that I just get it done, because you never know when a situation comes up that you might want to get involved in. And obviously the Port Vale job's come up now, so I've got that behind me. So yeah, I've thrown my name in the ring for it.
If you were to properly apply, what is the process? Do you have to write a letter, email? How does that work?
I just rang the club, to be fair. I said, look, I've got my CV in front of me. I said, what's the best way of applying? They said they gave me their email address to send it to, so I've sent it in. I sent it in a few days ago, so I'm just waiting to hear something at the moment.
What have you said that you'd bring to the party?
Well, one thing I would bring to the club is an ex-Premier League manager as my assistant, and he's managed the top 4 Premier League club.
Are you not allowed to say who that is?
I'll tell the club who it is if they're willing to give me an interview. But that's the thing, yeah, I've got no managerial experience, but the experience I'll be bringing in with me to the club is probably better than anything they're going to get elsewhere. He's been very successful as a player, very successful as a manager. And I'm prepared to obviously disclose that information to the club when they give me the interview, if they give me the interview.
Okay, and you've been interacting with fans on social media. It's gone both ways, that, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy. That's the thing, that's what you'll get with me, you'll get honesty. I'm not one of them, I wouldn't be a manager where I sort of talk to the press and I just tell them a load of lies and I tell the fans what they want to hear. You know, if they're talking rubbish, I'll tell them they're talking rubbish. If they make a good point, I'll say, do you know what, fair enough, that's a good point. But yeah, it's probably 99.9% of the fans have been talking rubbish. But at the end of the day, they want what's best for the football club. I want what's best for the football club, and I'm willing to commit myself to it. You know, I'm not. The thing that annoys me is every time a management job comes up, it's the same names getting thrown around. It is like a big conveyor belt. You know, if the same managers that are linked to the Vale job now, a lot of them, if they don't get this, then next week when someone else gets sacked, they'll be linked with that one as well. Yeah. And it's just boring. I think, you know, I'm coming in, I've got fresh ideas. I've worked under the best coaching staff I think you could get as a youth player at the Glen Hoddle Academy, and I was learning then. I learnt so much from them, and I think they made me a better player in 18 months than any manager I've ever worked with ever have.
You've said that you are going to bring honesty to the club if you were offered a position, and arguing with the fans, don't you think that would be a tough place to start?
Not really, no, because they send me messages on Twitter, and I reply to them with honesty. Yeah. Whereas, you know, there's too many yes men in the game. Whereas they, like I said, they just come out, they say what they want to hear, or they don't say anything at all. And I think if I'm a fan and I throw a question out there, if someone answers it, that's better than them just saying nothing and then telling the press a load of lies at the end of the next game. You know, if say for 1 week we come out and we get beaten, I turn around and go, oh yeah, this and that, it's just a load of lies. I'll come out and say why we got beat. I'll say what we need to do to improve. If a fan makes a good point, I'll say, oh, do you know what, yeah, fair enough. Or if he doesn't, I'll just tell him he's talking rubbish. Yeah. And I think that's the best way to go. You know, if you want to solve a problem, you've got to admit the problem first. And the problem is, since Vale got promotion, they have gone massively downhill. And I'm actually willing to be someone that takes them back to where they should be. You know, I said when I signed for the club, let's get them in the Championship. If I stayed there and we'd have kept that team together, I believe we would have.
Yeah.
But things happened, and you can only move forward now, and I'm willing to help the club do that.
Of course, you were part of that team, like you said, and you left, and the story's not really out there of why you did leave the club. Is there anything you want you to add to that story that's already out there?
I think it's that I left obviously due to the Mickey Adams situation at the time. I don't really know what you want to say about it. The lot's gone on, but a lot of information out there about it. But what's done is done. I think you can only that took up a large portion of sort of time for me. But that's just in the past now. I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. I've applied for the Vale job. Then 2 days later, he releases a book sort of slating me, and there's headlines slating me for. If the book come out yesterday, it's funny how someone can read the book and find the passage about me within a few hours of the book coming out.
Yeah.
And then there being a headline about me. I understand the book's been preparing the book for ages. I saw articles about the book ages ago coming out, but maybe it's just coincidence that it has to come out as soon as I apply for the job. You know, it's a bit strange that he's writing about me in his autobiography as well. I mean, we did have that agreement in place. He obviously breached it at the start when I first left Vale, which caused me to speak out. But obviously he's breached it again. But it's just boring, really.
Yeah. So you want to draw a line under that now?
Yeah, that's done. To be honest, I mean, I if you noticed when I've been tweeting people, they've been mentioning Mickey Adams. I haven't really said anything about it. It was only yesterday when I seen that book. I just thought. It's like why bring that up now? You know, it's all been done and dusted. It's all in the past.
Is a manager's job something you've always been interested in? Is that something you thought you might have done after football?
It was, to be honest. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to sit there as a six-year-old kid and just watch Premier League all the time. And when I was really young, I just used to have the ability where I'd pick up things in games where, you know, I wouldn't just watch football and hope that my team wins. I'd think like, oh, what's he doing? Why isn't he doing that? And I'd sort of analyse the game. And I've always been good at that, really. And when I started playing, obviously, I think about the game when I'm playing. I'm that kind of player, so I think being in management, you've got to be a certain type of manager. It's not for everyone. You know, there's ex-Premier League players that have been on coaching courses and they're just not cut out for it. And then there's players that have never played football before in their life. They are cut out for it. So I hate the word experience as well. Everyone throws that word around, but you only get experience by actually being given a chance. So you don't need to be 50 years old to be a football manager. You know, if you've got the knowledge, you've got the passion, then why not give someone a chance? Look at Newport County, doing a great job now, ex-player of mine, and they gave experienced managers that job for years, and then they eventually gave him a chance, and he's taken it.
And that's what you're offering?
Yeah, I've done it as a player, I'll do it as a manager. Get me in, give me an interview, and you'll see that I'm being serious. But if you don't give me an interview, then you're not going to see what I can bring to the table. But that's the club's choice. You know, I've put myself out there. I think I'm one of the only people that has put themselves out there, because nobody else wants to put themselves out there for the Vale job, because next week if something better comes along, they'll happily jump ship. Whereas I'm not like that. I'm saying, I want this job. If I don't get this job, I'll happily just go back to sitting by poolsides, having photos taken of me for my clothing company until then.
Ryan, thank you very much for your account of this big story that's hit this week. We will find out hopefully soon who is on the shortlist to be Port Vale manager, but you've applied. We'll see what happens.